Hello everybody, welcome to Tabletop Bob. My name is Bob. I'll be your Dungeon Master for tonight as we dive back into Curse of Strahd. This is episode 2, so if you're watching this first time, go back and watch episode 1. It was a smashing hit. How's it going everybody? We got Tim, Andrew, Michelle, and Stefano back, the whole group. It'd be bad if we didn't have all of you back for session 2, wouldn't it be? I mean, unless you died. But
the hot start.
Yeah.
My armor didn't make it, but never mind.
Ooh. Yes,
Too soon.
Andrew.
It's not too soon. Just started.
We realized after the first session, which went great, by the way. I'll put a little link somewhere up here for that one. After the first session, Andrew texted us in our group chat and was like, "I have no weapons. I just deleted them off of my D&D Beyond character."
I got a dagger, small dagger.
That's all you have, because it was like your ceremonial dagger, something you carry around at a fancy party.
Yeah. My eating dagger.
Oh, is it your eating dagger?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, interesting. We're going to go around and do introductions, but before we do that, talking about eating daggers, we have a big holiday coming up here in the United States. It's Thanksgiving week. So there you go. I dated this stream. It's Thanksgiving week, everybody. What
year?
That will be unknown. You'll have to do the math. If you're watching this 100 years from now, you'll have to go and do the math.
Okay.
All right? But we're not going to tell them that it's Thanksgiving of 2023. We won't do that. Got it, Stefano?
Good. I don't even know what year it is right now.
Well, speaking of eating knives, I wanted to talk about some holiday traditions here. What's something that you do in your family that you do every year, or something that like you eat every year that you love to partake in every year? I mean, I'll start this one off. I mean, I'm a big mashed potatoes guy. Always had to have mashed potatoes. I love Thanksgiving food. I love it all year round. Whenever it's like in the cafeteria, I want cranberry sauce, lots of it, stuffing, mashed potatoes. I love everything about Thanksgiving. But maybe the one thing that I love most about Thanksgiving is the fact that it's a holiday where you get to be together and not buy presents for people. Don't you agree?
I hate buying presents for people.
Yeah. I mean, I love it. It's just, can we just have a holiday where we just all relax and eat and not have to do anything else? That's what I love about Thanksgiving. It's chill. What about you all?
I'll start. We don't do this every year, but I feel like it's maybe 8 out of 10 years.
Just something you love, really. It doesn't have to be a tradition necessarily. Something you love. And chat, let us know what you love about Thanksgiving. Go ahead.
Well, most years my mother makes a different soup for an appetizer before the meal.
It's not one of those soups that cooks for years and years. We were just talking about off stream, is it?
Yeah, it's not a year and year.
A never-ending soup.
No, it's not a never-ending soup. But my favorite thing is definitely stuffing.
Oh, so good.
Oh,
I could eat
stuffing.
mounds and mounds of stuffing. Like, just forget everything. I like make the turkey, give me that gravy, toss the turkey, and just give me stuffing with gravy.
Wait, did we have to put it on the plate then? Could we have just left it off the plate?
No, well, I still eat everything,
stuff,
but that's I always take a ton of stuffing home, and I just have stuffing for breakfast.
What kind of stuffing is it? Because there's a lot of different types. People, and I want to make sure we go in depth in this analysis. We want to talk about us. We want to let the people here know who we are. So tell me, what type of stuffing do you like?
It's usually a bread stuffing. We used to make this Italian like rice and sausage stuffing, which I was always a huge fan of.
I love sausage stuffing
back in the day. But now we do a bread stuffing, but it's not like that stuff in a bag. Like we actually buy the bread, cut it into cubes, make it get stale, and use it. It's just delicious. And lately we've been doing it with like a lot of eggs and like bacon in there, and it's pretty good.
Who else? I love stuffing. Love it. Oh, so good.
Well, I was going to say stuffing because that is my favorite part, but now it just feels unoriginal as if I'm copying Stefano's answer. So another thing that I really, really adore about Thanksgiving is sweet potato. I'm just a fiend
yeah.
for sweet
Oh, I
potato.
was going to say sweet potato next.
Sorry, Andrew. That's why I wanted to like slide in and get second because like I knew all the faves were gonna get knocked out. But yeah, sweet potato, man. Anything with sweet potato. Give me a sweet potato mash, put some like brown sugar over the top or pecans, really anything. Sweet potato mash with some maple syrup. Yeah, really any iteration of sweet potato. And
Would you
I'm
consider
in.
that different than traditional mashed? It's different. It's like completely different flavor palette, I feel like, right?
Yeah, I feel like it reads more as a dessert, but then I can
Oh,
still like in my head, I'm like, well, like it's potato, it's fibrous, it's healthy. So it feels like I'm cheating the system a bit.
you are because, well, you know what? There's worse ways to do it. My mom forever would put marshmallows on top and like, what is it called? Burn them or
Torch 'em.
torch them. Thank you. I was like, burn the
Yeah.
marshmallows. Yeah, when she like, roasts the marshmallows on top, and it's like basically dessert at that point, right? I mean, can it really be anything else? But yeah, there's lots of ways to do sweet potatoes, but they do have a very distinct flavor compared to regular like mashed potatoes. So
For
that's good.
sure, for sure. I consider it it's just a different vegetable. It just
Yeah,
happens to share the name, but it's different.
right.
Mhm.
Good
Oh,
idea.
oh, can I go next?
Andrew's like, please, I gotta get one.
Jump in
Can I
quick.
go on? So my third favorite thing, and sweet potatoes are cloves and maple syrup, by the way. But my third favorite thing is I like to eat healthy, so I have Brussels sprouts. I like to cook these
Oh,
in a healthy way by covering a pan with loads and loads of olive oil, heating it really hot, then putting a whole bunch of salt in, and then a few Brussels sprouts, and then maybe a little bit of bacon on top if you want to go crazy, and then roasting that, and that's what I really like.
yeah.
So
Anything to
good.
make the Brussels sprouts not Brussels sprouts, right?
I love my
Oil
roasted
and
Brussels sprout.
bacon.
You could
Salt.
And
you
then
could
just
put that on
throw
anything.
some ranch dressing all over it at the end.
Ranch dressing.
Yes,
I
that
should
sounds
try that.
lovely.
That sounds good.
Maybe like a layer of lard, just for good measure.
Right.
Ooh.
Perfect.
What's the thing that everybody
Deep
does? I feel
fried
like
lard.
there's a
Little
thing now
lard
that people
nuggets.
do a lot. What's it called? It's like the fat of a cow, but they use it in a lot. I feel like
Oh,
every time I say
tallow. Tallow?
tallow. Yes,
Yeah.
you're reading my mind. Tallow. That's popular right now. That's in like a lot of like fancy recipes, I feel like.
Mhm.
All right,
That's
fair enough.
lard,
Good
right?
old beef tallow.
Yes,
Lard.
that's it.
That's
What
my
about
favorite Thanksgiving tradition.
just
Beef
tallow,
tallow.
fat? What about you, Tim? What you got?
Well, I am like, I'm not a stuffing person at all.
What? Get out of here.
Yeah,
We're
no, it
kicking
doesn't
you
do it
out.
for me at all. Not even like a little. I will actively avoid it at Thanksgiving, in fact.
It's gross.
Wow.
Sorry.
Shock.
No, like, I don't know. Like, I'm more of a breakfast eater myself. So like anytime if there's more than 6 members of my family in like one like area for more than a couple days, we have this thing called like breakfast stuff. And I'm sure there's a more like culinary advanced name than stuff, but it's like an egg souffle and then a French toast souffle, like kind of thing. It's like a baking dish. It's got bread and apples and cinnamon, and it's like really great. And the egg one is like eggs and cheese and sausage, which is like breakfast stuff in a pan. You bake it, and it's just like, boy, that's I love that.
That
That sounds like
amazing.
just like a omelet, though, is it not?
Yeah, but it's not an omelet though, because it's in a baking pan.
It's
Okay.
breakfast stuff.
It's a
It's
quiche.
breakfast stuff.
It's a
You
quiche.
should put it in the
Oh
oven.
no, quiche is in a pie pan. I know what a quiche is, Bob. It's not that either.
It sounds
made in the
very
oven?
peculiar here.
I'll send you a picture next time I make it. Okay, and we can show me like this is Tim's breakfast stuff.
Sounds fantastic, honestly.
My
Yeah,
next character after this bard is me, a bard whose inspiration is cooking, and I'll describe everything in detail.
I mean,
Oh, that sounds so good.
I'll eat it, but I just put a poll up here, everybody. So I put it titled "The Best of Our Thanksgiving." So the responses we have, excluding Tim's omelet souffle,
Thank you.
I put up Brussels sprouts, mashed potatoes, stuffing, sweet potatoes. Give me the, let me know who's right, and let me know exactly how right I am, please. Right.
Course.
So mashed
Stefano's gonna
potatoes.
win,
Breakfast
obviously.
stuff.
Go
Hey,
for the
real
mashed
quick,
potatoes.
have any of you ever had a turducken?
No.
Have you?
I haven't, but it's something I've wanted to try for a long time. But
I think
I don't
I think
cook
the
Thanksgiving.
problem. I think the real reason, like, it's very popular, the name, and it's funny and it's whatever. But the real problem is I think it's very hard to cook because it's got to be like cooked all through those layers. So it takes either like a long time, I've heard, or you have to like deep fry it in like that. There's people like who burn their garage down doing this. It's like you
I
gotta be
feel like
careful.
with the advancements in cooking, like
Yeah.
any chef would be like, that sounds terrible.
Hey, look, to each their own. I'm not going to yuck anybody's yum except for this souffle thing. I'm just going to say it's not Thanksgiving. I'll still eat it.
All right, Bob.
I'll still eat it. It's just
You still have to eat breakfast on Thanksgiving.
yeah.
Yeah, this is maybe the most important meal of the deal.
Oh,
Even if you're not a big breakfast person, if you don't have a good breakfast to start the day, how can you possibly get through the rest of the day?
Get that
Breakfast is
metabolism
cereal for
going.
Thanksgiving.
What's that, Andrew?
You got to eat cereal for Thanksgiving. You got to pace yourself.
Oh,
You can't be eating a big breakfast.
I haven't
for-
eaten cereal in 20 years.
I sprint marathons.
See, for me, it starts today. Like tonight, I'm done with most solid foods tonight. I'm just gonna start tomorrow. It's gonna be all liquid, and get ready for Thursday. I gotta empty everything out. I gotta make lots of room. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Okay, gotta start early and often. Drink lots of water. The key to eating on Thanksgiving is staying hydrated, and making sure you're wearing yeah, plenty yeah. of elastic pants. All right,
Yes,
sweats. Yeah. Well, anyway,
I feel like I should be taking notes for
yes.
The
strats.
true professional.
This is free advice for all of
Elastic
you out there.
pants.
But I'm sure you all came here for advice for Thanksgiving. But we're also gonna play a little bit of D&D. Is that all right?
What? I
I'm
thought this
kind of
was
hooked on the Thanksgiving talk.
yeah, I
Oh.
thought this was the stream.
No, we've been streaming for a while, haven't we? Yeah.
What
a
are we
little bit.
what are we
More like
doing?
16 minutes.
Something like
What
that.
are we
yeah.
here for?
We're here to play Curse of Strahd. So why don't we do this? Because we're still getting to know not only ourselves, but also our characters. Why don't we go around and remind everybody who we're playing and what happened to you last time? We'll start with a random person. Tim, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you're doing? And did your character have souffle that day?
Yeah, what's going on, everybody? I'm Tim. I'm playing Laurent LeMaire, human bard. And I am on my way to Barovia after essentially filching a letter at a card game that was not addressed to me and probably wasn't supposed to come to me. But like the opportunity to earn some gold and maybe help some people seemed good enough for me to take the letter. I went into the fog once. I'll never do it again. No matter how much souffle is promised, me and the fog do not see eye to eye.
Yeah, that fog did a number on you. Last time when you finally got enveloped by the fog, you were the one chosen, or I guess you volunteered to test it out. You stuck a hand in at first, no issues really, but then once you got into the fog, it caused you a level of exhaustion. For all of you who don't know, we're playing with mostly, I would say, standard D&D rules, our house rules document, and all links to a bunch of different things that I've mentioned in session 1 and will continue to be there listed are down below in the description. So check it out. Make sure you also check out below. We see I'm going to do this eventually. I actually tried to do this, but I want to put the characters like D&D Beyond links there so you can see what their characters look like. I haven't gotten that up yet, but check back soon if you're watching this kind of closer to the live date. Check back soon. We'll be getting there. All right, let's jump over to Andrew.
Okay, so I'm Rufus Gwaindire, a noble of Gwaindire. I'm a human paladin, oath of glory. And what was I doing? Well, I was enjoying a lovely dinner, and the Marquess asked me to talk to some traveling folk who've been roughing people up. So I went to speak to them at night in my dinner wear, I guess black tie equivalent.
Mhm.
And they told me that they were kind of looking for glorious heroes to solve them of a kind of a person who'd been causing them a lot of problems. And the next thing I knew, I kind of woke up in a forest in my traveling wear and got in this portal. So they drugged me with their food. They were so desperate to have me. But I'm very excited with all my companions. I've decided we're all destined for glory together. That's why we've all been brought together in this strange way.
Yeah, you were the one. I want to say the odd man out here, but your tale started a little differently. Of course, you met those traveling, the traveling troupe that kind of, I guess you, like you said, ensnared you in a way. you woke up and you were just there. So you don't have your gear, you don't have your weapons, no armor. Pretty much all your starting equipment, other than your eating knife, is
I
gone.
have an eating dagger and 24 gold
Yeah. So
and some
not
clothes.
not so prepared for everything just now.
Not when you're a paladin.
Right. But we'll see. We'll see what you find on the road here in the woods. I'm sure there's civilization somewhere soon. Let's jump on down to Michelle.
Hello. I am playing Dione Ironsage, who is a little Dwergar lady. Little, but large for a little lady. And she is an arcane trickster rogue. So far in the story, I started off in the Misty Forest with a couple of people, Davra and Yurik, who had hired me to hunt down a werewolf. So we were like hot on the trail of some werewolves when all of a sudden things got real misty and real weird. And I ran into Canas. I ran into another person, and we had an absolutely just gripping conversation upon first meeting each other. Truly enthralling. And then all of a sudden we heard a scream. The people who had hired me for this job have disappeared, and now we are in a mysterious fog walking along a path. And Dione, or I, am feeling generally distrustful of everything, and I am like of a generally distrustful and grumpy nature. But you know, we're on an adventure, might as well kind of see it through, see where we're going, and perhaps even get to know these other adventurers a little better along the way.
Yeah, it's been a weird night to say the least for your character, but you have met some new friends, acquaintances at least at this point, and the last of them was the first you met, Canas. Go ahead, Stefano. Tell us about Canas.
Hey everyone, I'm playing Canas, the half-elf warlock with a celestial patron, Pact of the Chain, with my trusty familiar, Yune. I was tasked by the Lord, I think his name is Jormund, of the Lord's Alliance, to find this portal that werewolves were coming out of every full moon. And I was told it was in the Misty Forest. That's where I met up with these three knuckleheads.
Yeah, your tale was kind of more direct. You were on a mission. You were appointed by someone of a very legitimate power to go find something, and you got lost in the mist.
Yes. So I don't even know if it was a portal. It was kind of just a mist.
Right.
A mist that brought us somewhere where we don't seem to be able to escape.
Right. It was not obvious. You in fact, you might have missed it. So.
Yeah. I almost missed it in the misty woods.
Mm-hmm. But luckily, you are a resilient character, and you have found that there's some other people here, and you're band together, and you fought some zombies. That was what kind of happened at the beginning. So just as a quick recap to bring everybody together. Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
And Yune, my sprite familiar, turned into a devilish imp once we entered the mist, the land of the mist.
Yep.
It's very mysterious.
Which, we don't actually know where we are. Yeah. Who knows?
So there's a couple of extra details here to just touch on. So each of you had your own sort of connection to this, and of course, you bring different pieces of knowledge and background to the table here, but all of you came together, and it was brought together in the Misty Forest through this strange mist that kind of seems to follow you everywhere. The mist, when we were talking with Tim, how you kind of let it envelop you. The reason why you did that is because as you progress down this road, which again is not called anything. There's no name for this road other than the road in the Misty Forest. It started to follow and wrap around this group, maybe staying no more than 20 to 30 feet behind you. So it kept pressing up against you as you went further in. And once the mist fully enveloped you, things changed. The lighting changed. Everything just felt different. The woods before you were not the same that you saw a moment ago. Yune had turned into an imp and had a much deeper voice, and that wasn't the first strange thing, or that wasn't the only strange thing. You also saw a body being devoured by 3 zombies. These creatures were different than the zombies maybe any of you have ever encountered. If that, they're kind of rare to encounter. And if your characters have, these were different. As you swiped away body parts, lopped off limbs and heads, they started to continue to attack. And it took a significant amount of firepower to bring them all down. But you worked together as a team. Even Rufus, who was very vulnerable due to the fact you didn't have armor, you ended up persevering and getting through these zombies. You killed them all, and you found a letter on the body. The body's letter said that there was a man named Kolyan Indirovich, who was the burgomaster of a town that you were supposed to not go to. In fact, he said, kind of, don't worry about us. There's an evil before our land. We're ruled by someone who is turned into a vampire, and ultimately, we're not worth saving. His daughter has been bit, and he's in trouble. This kind of contrasts what Laurent found at the gambling bar, the table that you had where you won the letter in poker, which kind of lured you in. And yet, a lot of mysteries, not a lot of answers. So let's jump into the myth, shall we? Here we go.
Yes, please.
All right. So, the 4 of you are continuing on this road. And we are in the mist vision right now, so don't worry about your television wires here. It's all good. We're black and white now. Some people were confused. I actually got a couple of questions about that. We are in black and white, so don't worry. You are walking down this road. The mist continue to follow, and you've been going now for about an hour. The conversation is picked up and back and forth between all of you about the letters, about the potential. Person you might encounter looking for this burgomaster, but for the most part it's been quiet and you've been walking pretty much all night. It's now been a few hours and you get to a crossing here. You can see that fog is spilling out into the forest and swallowing up the road behind you. Ahead you can see what looks like from the woods beside the road there's a high stone buttress looming in the gray fog. When you approach, you can see a huge iron gate that hangs on the stonework. Dew clings in cold tenacity to the rusted bars. You also see 2 armed guardians flanking the gate, their heads now lying among the weeds at their feet. They greet you only with silence. And I'll show you the artwork in just a second. But what do you do as you approach this massive wall and gate?
I'm sorry, can you just read the armed guardians? Do you mean that they're like beheaded, or they're like statues whose heads have been removed?
Statues that are beheaded. Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. I wasn't sure it was like people and they're just like bodies were standing upright. Gotcha,
Yeah.
statues.
And I actually have artwork here to show you, so you can take a look at it right now and show our
Thanks so
Roll20
much.
people.
Ooh.
Very cool.
Oh,
There it is.
is the gate open?
It does look open, like it kind of never really was closed. It's rusted and definitely able to traverse through easily.
Can I make a quick perception check just to see if I can see anything lurking or hear anything coming from inside?
Sure, go for it.
$15.
You don't hear anything unusual. I did say, though, that it was strange that once the mist kind of enveloped you, that a lot of typical sounds of the night were gone. You didn't hear any like insects chirping or any creatures flying, anything like that. Nothing was going on at the middle of the night. It was pretty silent, which was eerie. However, you can see plenty of what looks like ravens or crows, black birds perched on the top of the wall, the statues, and they seem to be cawing as you approach. Maybe like, I don't know, maybe about a dozen of them or so are just kind of perched all along this wall, this entrance.
Can I move to the side of the path and just try to get as much cover as I can? Or just kind of like, stay in the underbrush as I approach the gate?
Absolutely, yeah. Are you looking to be hidden? You want to make a stealth check, or are you just looking to stay like to the sides?
Yeah, I guess I'll try to stay hidden if possible.
Okay, give me a stealth check, yeah.
Yeah.
While she does that, Andrew or Tim, anything from your characters?
I'm looking at the birds. Do they look Like regular birds?
Totally. They're like a black type of bird, whether it's a crow or a raven, hard to tell from the distance, but they're the first animals you've seen.
I'm going to approach the gate.
Okay.
I would like to join him. You know, all this walking alone has been quite jarring for me. I'm used to more crowds and people. That's my thing as an entertainer. So definitely the promise of civilization sounds much nicer than walking into mist again.
Sure. Yeah. So you and Rufus maybe are the first to approach, Canas following along, and Dione hiding amongst the brushes. I saw the 16, Michelle. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, no worries.
Rufus.
I just
Oh, yeah,
oh,
go ahead.
sorry.
No, you go
Yeah,
ahead.
to be clear, I am moving forward, like keeping pace with those guys, with the other guys, just kind of like staying to the side and out of sight.
Yeah, no, I figured that. You're not trying to like slow down or anything like that.
No.
Yeah, you're keeping
Sorry,
keeping
could I-
stride.
Could I also have, because I can actually do this, I'd like Yune to more polymorph into a raven and fly up and perch with the other ravens. If
Sure,
anything happens.
you say, what do you say to her?
Telepathically,
Sure.
change. Can you morph into that one of those creatures and see if anything strange is going on with them?
Did you just say change? Like, as in, like, instead of Yune? Did I hear that wrong?
Well, can you change into one of those creatures?
Oh, can you change? Okay, gotcha. And Yune goes, whatever you wish. And she looks up at the birds, and she'll turn from her spiky imp form into a raven. Typical raven. Flapping wings and perches on your shoulder and says, telepathically, is there any reason why you want me to engage those birds?
Perhaps just to see if they disperse or stick around.
I'll do my best. She fly up, flapping her wings gracefully, I might add. She gets to the top. As soon as she gets to about the first headless statue height, those birds will start to in a flock, kind of just fly away, scatter, and can go to like the top perch of the wall. So they're kind of like still like 20 or 30 feet away from Yune. She'll perch on the head and look back to you, looking for communication. Although you might be out of your connection range. Isn't it only 60 feet or 100 feet?
It's 100 feet.
Okay, so it's probably still good for the. Actually, if it's 100 feet and you get close, you probably are good.
Do they all go? Does one stay?
All of them leave that were on the head. There may be like 3 or
Okay.
4 of them. They fly off together up to the top of the wall, joining the others.
Okay. I
Rufus,
just telepathically say, nothing strange here. Come.
she'll fly back and land with you. Stay in raven form though.
Sure.
Rufus, as you approach the gate, definitely the you could pass through you can even see in the picture here the gate is slightly ajar, but as you approach, you hear screeching. The hinges are beginning to move, and the door widens, opening fully for all of you to enter.
I look around to see how it opened.
Inward towards you.
But what force caused it to open?
Oh, there was none.
Hmm.
There's no mechanism you see nearby. When you get close enough to the gate to perhaps touch it, you look around. You don't see or hear anybody. It looks like as you approach, maybe old gates are. They're creaky, and this happens sometimes. I'm sure.
I'll turn around to the group and shout out, well, in a loud voice, say, "Look, our destiny beckons." Ha ha. And then I'll turn around and walk through them.
Okay. You walk through the gate, and nothing changes when you walk through the gate. It's still the road that you were on, although you do notice that it is becoming just slightly less wooded. The area you're in right now looks to be most likely a road that's well traveled on, although you haven't seen any people or any other creatures since. What about you, Tim, Dione, Canas? You're following through the gate?
Yeah, definitely following through. And besides like the generally creepy description you're giving, as a College of Spirits bard, is there like any indication that I would have or any like inkling there might be like something more supernatural afoot here, or do you think it's just that's really all it is?
I mean, you can give me an Arcana check, but something's up. Everything is so strange. The woods themselves, the mist, these gates opening. You got to think something is magical here.
That's a 22 on Arcana.
Yeah, I mean this gate seemed to open fully, right? It's not just a creak, a wind, or something. This is definitely some sort of magic. Maybe it was a spell that was almost like a spell that was designed that when you approach it would open, and it's been set on this gate most likely.
I hate that. Could I use one of my bardic inspirations to cast on the what's it called? The Tales from Beyond.
What does it give you?
I roll a d20 and or a d12, and depending on what I get, it returns like some kind of benefit to me.
Okay, roll it. Yeah, sure. I'm not sure what the exact rules. Can you post it in the roll 20?
I sure can.
Sure. Go ahead. And the rest of you? Following through?
Didn't 1 second. Let me see.
Yeah, I'm going through.
Okay.
What do we see in through these gates? Is it just more road?
More
and woods?
road. Mm-hmm. More road.
I'll have Yune switch back and turn
There's-
invisible.
Okay. All right,
There's
go
the,
ahead.
uh,
Let's see
the-
what it says.
12 options, and I'm going to roll a d12 because it defaulted to a d6 for some reason instead of a d12. And that's an 11. So with an 11 for the Tale of Angst, the target regains hit points. That's a Tale of the Angel. Nah, it's silly. This is a terrible idea. Okay, the Tale of the Angel, the target regains hit points equal to 2 of your Bardic Inspiration die, but I've got pretty much all my hit points.
Yeah, so I was going to say, is this basically something you'd pick a friend or something and it would give you a benefit? Is that what it is?
Yeah, I had not read it that carefully beforehand. I thought it was more like skill based. It seems like it's a lot more combat based than I originally intended. That's okay.
Then save it. There's no need to use this right now. I thought it was like something with lore and like giving you.
That's
an
also what I
opportunity to
thought. It's not
roleplay.
that.
Yeah. Okay.
That's my bad.
That's okay. Yeah, it looks like it's a pretty good benefit. So keep it.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. So you pass through the gate, and Dione, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. I just wanted to look at the outside of this gate.
Mhm.
Like it's a rock face. There's like a lot of carvings. These statues are on the sides. So I want to examine it closely and see if I can spot any sigils or insignia, crests, any sign or just like anything I might recognize
Sure.
from my years of working with rock.
No need to make a check here, actually. I would say that when you look at this, you can see, obviously, the easiest thing to inspect would be the heads, which are on the floor. The heads look like they obviously fit the guardians above. They're like helmed heads, and it looks like they have a distinct look to them. This style of armor, you would probably say, is unique. You probably haven't seen this before, but they have a similar crest to that which I showed. I think it was Laurent, right? Yeah, your wax seal, and same with the one that was on the letter of the body you found. So they have the seal. It's like a bird, and it's got the castle in the back, set in the background of it. That's the crest that you've seen, and these also have this crest adorned.
Okay, cool. Then as we pass through, I'll just kind of like point out the crest to my fellow adventurers. Be like, that may be important.
Yeah.
And then just pass through the gate.
All right. And as you pass
Bob,
through the gate,
sorry, I have a quick question. Are we led to believe from that letter that the Burgermeister was the one that was being eaten?
no,
The Burgermeister's significant other.
daughter.
The letter I got referenced the love of his life, but then the second letter we received made it sound like it was his daughter.
Yeah. Now, Tim, I just want to make sure.
Irina was bitten. Yes, I was
Yeah.
talking about the one that the 3 zombies were eating,
Yeah, that's the one that
because
explained
we found the letter on that person.
Yep. So the one you found on the person who was bitten, that person was carrying a letter, and it was
Okay.
from the Burgomaster, and it
From
talked
the
about
Burgomaster,
the
yes.
Burgomaster's daughter being bitten. However, Tim's said something very different, and Tim's one was obviously the one he got in the card game from the man who came in and slammed it on the table. Yeah. So anyway, that's it. So it's the Burgomaster's daughter that was described in the body you found, the letter from the body you found. So you open through, or you walk through these gates, and I think, like we said, Rufus is going through. Everybody follows suit, and as you do, the gates close. They close shut, and you can hear them like that, the creaking. If you were to react fast enough to turn back, you would, but the mists have already gone up right up to the gates iron, the iron of the gates already. So really, unless you want to go into the mists, the gates are going to close. You're all okay with that, I assume?
I'm not going back in the mist. I'm fine with it.
Right. So the mist comes right up, presses up to the gate as they shut, and now what's behind you is enveloped in the mist as well. All right.
Well, it seems someone has invited us into their domain.
Or they've trapped us, says Yune.
I believe that may be what it is, Yune.
I'm really scared. Are you all scared?
Have heart, companions.
I do not
Let us-
like this. Stay alert.
Well,
The path leads forward, not behind, in any case.
How long have we been walking? Are like
it's approaching
is-
morning now, so basically all night. Yeah.
Are we going to be exhausted if we don't?
If you don't
take a
sleep
break?
soon, yeah. Hmm.
Mhm.
Is there any way to take a break?
There might be, yeah.
Let
I
us
mean-
move forward a mile or so, see if we can find somewhere to camp.
Let's do it. So you head on the road, continuing forward, and you can see as the dawn begins to break, there is no sun in the sky. While you can definitely tell that it's morning now, perhaps what would be the start of your day at dawn, you don't actually see the sun. It's very overcast. The mist is still present, so it's just a very dense, foggy day, and ultimately doesn't really provide much sunlight. However, after traveling just a bit more, and you're really close at this point, it didn't take more than a half an hour or so of travel, you find yourself in a civilization. Tall shapes loom out of the dense fog that surrounds everything. The muddy ground underfoot gives way to slick, wet cobblestones. The tall shapes become recognizable as village dwellings. The windows of each house stare out from pools of blackness. No sound cuts the silence, except for a mournful sobbing that echoes through the streets from a distance. You have arrived in what appears to be some sort of settlement. I'm going to switch us to our Roll20 and put us on a map, actually. Go ahead, Stefano. You had a question?
Any signs or something that tells us maybe where we are?
There's no sign, there's no sign that you see. The road leads into what appears to be what would be the housing area of the town, and I'll show you exactly what I mean on the map.
Okay.
Let's bring it up here. Okay. So you're located here where the party token is, all the way on the eastern section of the map. And this is where you come in. You can see homes. So you're in the street right here where you can see the homes to the left and right. Again, like I said, the windows are basically just fully blackened. You don't see anything. There seems to be no light. There's no sound. The only sound comes from deeper within the town, and it's that of a sobbing.
People are walking out and about?
You haven't seen a person yet.
Got it. Okay.
Which way is the sobbing coming from?
Looks like the center of town.
Let us proceed into the center of town.
I'm gonna have one hand my rapier. This is cagey.
One hand
You
on
do
your
not-
weapon.
You do not think this is another trap?
Seems like someone requires our help.
Okay.
Dione, I believe that it may be a trap, but
Also,
seems
maybe
that-
an inn.
we need to gain some sort of information about where we are, and that the only clue that we have right now is the sobbing sound. So let's approach carefully.
Okay. Careful. And I pull out my rapier. And I slowly creep forward.
You
As we walk by, I'm looking for any sort of like bulletin boards or notices or like anything on the houses just to see if I could get anything.
You definitely don't see any bulletin boards. There's definitely no notices, no town flyers, anything like that. That's for sure.
Nothing asking about help with a guy with a 10-foot pole.
No, nothing like that. No, this is not Keep on the Borderlands stuff. No, this is this is a little different of a town here. This is a time of the day, right? It's like, past the dawn where people would be up and about, getting their day started. People would be out working in fields and all that sort of things, but in a normal town, places you've come from, but not here. Right now, it's pretty quiet. There is nobody. You walk through houses and rows and rows of houses, and you see nothing. Just that wailing sound in the distance. Sounds like a woman's voice. It's kind of hard to tell from where you're situated, and it's much further away in the village. But as you continue to progress, the sound will get louder and louder. But before you get to the sound, you do see your first sign of life. You see a single shaft of light that thrusts illumination onto the main square. Its brightness looking like a solid pillar in this heavy fog. Above the gaping doorway, you can see a sign hanging precariously askew, proclaiming this to be the Blood on the Vine Tavern. And it's located right here. I will just make a little note of it on my side for you.
Tavern, my friends.
Yeah, you get to here, the town center, and that's where you see the Blood on the Vine Tavern.
And it appears that this place is open and the lights are on inside.
It does. Mm-hmm.
The good place to go into and look for a break as any other.
Feel compelled to investigate the sobbing, but I think we're in no state to provide assistance.
Yeah, the sobbing actually sounds like it's coming from further south of here, somewhere down this road. But yeah. Mm-hmm.
Should we investigate the sobbing or the tavern?
Let's do it.
I'm shot, but a baby sobbing is something we should look into.
It's not a baby. It's a woman's voice. But
oh, I'm much less inclined then.
Yeah, forget her.
Adults can handle themselves. If it was an infant, I'd be like, we have to do something, but come on.
That's right. So
I cry all the time and no one helps me.
That's different. That's a different reason. People just don't like you.
Thank you, Bob.
But I love you, so it's all right. This is clearly a tavern. It's rather decent-sized building for this community. All the other houses you've seen have been very small. However, you've seen many taverns and inns that kind of dwarf this. No offense, Dione. It is about a 60-foot square building, you would say, and it's in really close to all the buildings around it. It's kind of like, it looks like it was built within this community afterwards. You also notice that the N on there's an N in Blood of the Vine. It looks like the N's been scratched over with the F. So instead of saying Blood of the Vine, it says Blood on the Vine. All right, so it looks like somebody purposely has done that. And just like somebody purposely has kicked Tim out. He was upset by what I said, wasn't he?
Oh, no.
He was upset about the sobbing.
He was upset. We'll get him back in just a sec, everybody. Until then, we're going to have to deal with some screen cutting like this. Look at that. Beautiful. All right, so while we're getting him back in here. And if he comes in, just let him in. I'm going to read you a couple of things in this place. So, of course, as you go in, you see the picture. It looks like an N has been scratched over the F. It says Blood on the Vine instead of Blood of the Vine. And when you finally get in, you can see that there's a pretty finely appointed tavern, but it's, I don't know, it looks a little like shoddy. Maybe the over the years, it's been a little more run down than it's seen in better days. There is a blazing fire, though, and that warmth and the light gives you a bit of hope here. You can see that there are a couple of people huddled around the fire area. There's a barkeep behind a bar. You can see 3 people who are dressed in wild colors compared to the rest of the other patrons here. They've got like plenty of bright colors, purples, blues, reds, things like that in their wardrobe. And they're 3 women. They seem to be situated at one of the round tables, kind of to the left of the entrance. They're talking, and they're the only ones really that are talking, and they're talking rather loud. They seem to be having a pretty lively discussion when you enter. There's also a man who looks like he's got a cloak over his head, Aragorn style, sitting in the corner enjoying what seems to be some sort of like porridge or oatmeal. And while I'm going to switch us back here, We got to get some people's faces on here. I realized it's just me now. It's like a stream of just Bob. I thought
I
Tim
don't know.
would
It
do
does
this,
have
yeah.
like an artsy feel to it.
Does it?
Discordant.
It does. You're right. me see if I
Sure.
can get
Let's go with that.
Let me see. We're gonna just go wait for Tim for a second. I think. Let me go to the wait screen so that we can get him in here. All right. Let me bring this up, and we'll be right back, everybody. I don't want to do too much without Tim.
Mhm.
All right, everybody. You won't believe what just happened. Tim's power went out. Perfect for this theme and style here. I'll timestamp the little break we had, but apologies for that. It's power goes out, power goes out. Tim's gonna just hold on and make sure his audio and everything's good before he speaks. But are you good to go, Tim?
I'm good if you're good.
Wow, look at you. I don't know how you do this. I don't know what you just did, but it's perfect. All right, great. All right, so anyway, so we are in the Blood on the Vine Tavern. Well, it's called Blood of the Vine, but it's been crossed off with and replaced with an N. And I'd set the scene here, Tim. You missed it a little bit, but I'll just recap. There's a few people in here, maybe like 5 or 6 patrons. Most of them are huddled by the fire. There's a barkeep. There are 3 women who are dressed very colorfully, much in stark contrast to the rest of the people in this tavern. They are laughing, enjoying a conversation, a pretty lively one. And then there's one man, Aragorn style, hood up in the back of the room at a table by himself. He seems to be eating some sort of porridge or oatmeal. So, what do you do, everybody, as you walk in? Everybody turns to look at you and stops their conversation, stops what they were doing, and just watches you enter.
Who's the well-dressed person? Was that the ladies?
The 3 women? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Is there any male well-dressed person?
When you say well-dressed, you mean of like noble? That would show off their
looks like
nobility?
a more noble type person.
The man in the back with the cloak up does seem to have like what looks like maybe a wilderness style boots, like an adventuring type. However, nobility is kind of hard to discern. The women don't necessarily look like nobility, but they do look like they have money. Their clothes are bright and showy. However, the other people are much different. They look like they are wearing just tan and brown, beige clothing. They seem to be the poorest of the bunch.
No,
What's
obviously.
Sorry,
I'll
go ahead.
approach the barkeep.
Okay, we'll go through each person. So Stefano is going to go to the barkeep. What about Rufus?
With Stefano, I'm gonna go to the barkeep.
Okay, Dione.
I'm gonna approach the 3 women. I want to see if they look easy to pickpocket.
Laurent?
I'm going to approach the hooded man, and my first inclination is, does he look like the hooded man who dropped a letter on the table?
That's a good guess. You see the hooded man, you kind of get a better position to see who it is exactly. This man is quite different. Rather than the other one who had like a goatee and dark features, and this man is rather pale, blonde hair creeping out of his cloak. And
Got it. I'll go talk to him either way.
shaven. Clean shaven. Go and talk to him?
Yeah.
All right, great. All right, so since we are here in this conversation, we'll kind of take it in groups here. We'll start with Andrew and Stefano. Your characters march up right to the tavern keeper, the bar. This man is a pudgy guy. He's probably a bit short, on the short side, a little wide, and he's cleaning a glass, typical of a bartender with a rag, just kind of cleaning the bar top, then cleaning that glass again with the same rag, making it real dirty, and then putting it back ready to be served.
Long day of walking. Perhaps a drink for me and my companion.
What do you have?
Do you have any wine, sir?
We do have wine. We don't have the best vintages right now, but we do have wine. It'll be 1 silver piece for a pitcher, a copper for a glass.
2 glasses.
2 glasses it is. He'll kind of like take what, put his stuff down. He puts his rag down, goes over to the side, grabs a bottle of wine. You can see it's got some weird like insignia on it. You've never recognized this vintage. And he'll pour 2 glasses of bright red wine. He'll put the bottle back under the bar and bring you your 2 glasses.
Do you have any lodgings in this tavern? We have traveled away. In fact, we do not even know where we are.
No lodgings, not here.
Where could one lodge in this? What is the name of this town?
He looks at you with a weird look. He's confused by your question. Barovia?
So this is the town of Barovia.
It is the village.
Is this the only village?
In the area?
There's only one village of Barovia, he says.
Curious.
You're new here, it seems.
Yes, we quite don't know how we got here.
I'm sorry.
Well, it's not your fault, old chap.
Nonetheless, he puts your glasses down and gets back to work cleaning the bar on the other side.
What's your name?
How long have you been here?
He says, I'm no one. Eric. Not Eric. Arik. A-R-I-K, if you want to write it down. But I'm no one.
Do you have any sustenance, Eric? Any food you could serve? We have coin.
He looks around. He literally is looking to the left, to the right. He says, we do have some porridge. It's early. I haven't really made anything yet.
What can you tell us of the other people in this tavern?
He looks over to the women who are now about to engage in conversation with Dione. And he says, I'd prefer not to answer any questions if it's all the same to you.
Some porridge would be fantastic.
He'll nod and scoop out some porridge into a small, clay bowl. He'll give it to both of you. Those are also a copper piece. Do you have any money, Andrew? How much money do you have again?
24 gold left.
Oh, you're rich. You're rich.
I'm just gonna take it out of mine.
You'll pay for his porridge?
Well, I paid for his wine.
Did you? Okay. It's so kind. It's really breaking the bank. So it's also strange. You've just ordered. It's about 6:30 in the morning. You've ordered porridge and red wine. I just want to point this all out. It's
Just saying,
6:30.
breakfast is the most important meal of the day. So this
It's been a long night of walking, but
Yeah, I mean, the rest of the patrons are all minding their own business. The people who are huddled by the fire, they're not paying you any attention. I mean, maybe once in a while one glances over their shoulder, but they seem to have no interest in you. We go to Dione. You head over to the three women, and they carried on their conversation after your grand entrance, but for the most part, they were kind of watching you. And so as you approach, they all smile kindly. They seem to be approachable, and you get to the table, and they look down towards you because you're much shorter, and they say, "Well, look who we have here, girls. A
Ah.
dwarf."
Hello, ladies. Hello. I look at them. I make eye contact. It is so nice to meet you. I am searching for a place to rest. Do you know if there are any inns? Perhaps a hostel, some place to stay and sleep? And while I'm
Oh.
asking this, I'm also kind of like scanning their outfits. Like, do they have any pockets that look as if they are carrying gold? Any pouches?
They don't
Kind
look
of-
like they're carrying any like there's no bags, no coin purses, nothing like that. They seem to be completely carefree and itemless. But they're having a grand old time here. They say, "Oh, this is I hate to inform you this, but there are no inns here in Barovia."
Ah, Barovia. I have not heard this name before.
I'm
Barovia.
surprised you don't know this. And she says, "Your friends don't know this?" She watches Laurent walk by, going towards the man with the hood. She says, "You don't know where you are? You're confused?"
No, we we so happen to come here, but we don't know too much about this place.
Your friends
Can-
don't know where you are either?
That I do not know.
Huh.
But what can you tell me about this Barovia?
Well, they kind of look at each other, knowing glances. They exchange some knowing glances, and they look at you and they say, "There aren't any places to stay in Barovia. The village isn't really the best place to stay all the time for new people, but there are plenty of houses that could use someone to fix them up."
These houses are all abandoned.
Well, if you see smoke coming out, there's probably someone in there. But generally speaking, a lot of them are vacant.
Why are there so many vacant houses?
Well, they just haven't been filled in so long. This is going to be very difficult to explain, but the town is very unique, she says.
Unique?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's there are some strict rules around here. My friends, she introduces you all. Her name is Alenka. There's Mirabelle and Sorvia. The three of them sit at the table. You notice they're actually they looks like they had some sort of food as well, but their dishes are clean. They say we own the blood on the vine.
Oh, well, it is a lovely establishment you have here. Very nice.
She says, "Who are your friends, and what are their names?"
My acquaintances. We have over there. I'm pointing. I think his name. I haven't. Dione has not been paying too much attention to their names. Georges, maybe Henri. Canard.
So you're not close friends.
Chicken.
Poulet. Yes, well, we only just met recently, but we are traveling together.
Well, you you may want to do some exploring then. I would maybe take some time and look around the village, see if you can find a place to stay, and you're always welcome to eat here at the Blood on the Vine.
Oh, thank you. Are there any particular places you think we should examine first?
It looks like you've had a long trip. Perhaps take a rest, find a place, a vacant house, somewhere to stay. If you're looking for some gear, some clothing, she like grabs whatever clothing you have, kind of holds it in between her fingers. She feels it. This is not anything worth wearing. Maybe check bill drafts. You can get some supplies there.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wish I could help you more, but there's really not much we can do about your situation.
It is not a problem. Thank you so much, ladies. Lanka, Mirabel, Sophia, pleasure to meet you. I will get some
Dione.
food. And then I go over to the bar where Rufus and Canas are.
Sure.
And yeah, I'm going to place an order for some food.
You see the women, when you leave, they start to like whisper amongst themselves, and then they keep looking over at Laurent, approaching the man who's in the cloak. And Laurent, you get there. You see the man look up at you, his eyes kind of between spoonfuls of porridge, kind of watching you approach, and he lowers his spoon slowly back to the bowl. And he looks at you. He looks a little scared as you approach, but hard to read his emotion right now. There's something else that he's thinking of something clearly as you walk up. What do you say? You are muted.
Sorry. I will walk up to him, shuffling my deck of cards, and I will gesture towards the seat and say, it's just unbelievable weather we've been having.
He says, more unbelievable than the last few years?
You see, I'm actually new here, so it's unbelievable as in the past couple of hours. But I suppose if this is the weather you're used to, then it would be less unbelievable.
His eyes widen and he says, you're new here. And he goes, new, you say? Where are you from?
Well, originally, I'm from the small town of Neverwinter on the Sword Coast. But lately, I find myself quite itinerant, and so just last night, I was in a different town playing cards, and I reveal my hand of cards. And now I find myself here.
He says, what brought you here? Why did you come to this town?
See, I stole this letter.
A letter, you said?
Someone in Barovia was looking for assistance. I was hoping you could point me in the right direction, and I'll show him the letter from the burgomaster before we knew that the burgomaster didn't want us to come. The initial letter.
The initial letter, the one you got.
Yeah.
He'll snatch it from you if you don't want to.
Sure, yeah.
He'll snatch it from you if you're not trying to resist it. He'll open it and read it. It pours over it, his eyes fluttering as he's like scanning through the letter. And he puts the letter down. And he rips it up. And he tosses it back at you.
You know, that just feels uncalled for. Why?
It's a fraud, he says. And he lowers his voice when he says it. And he says, come here.
I will lean in closer.
And he says, no, come here. No, closer, he says. He says, this wasn't written by my father. And he offers you a seat next to him. It's a lie.
Your father, you said.
My father is Koilan Indirovich, the burgomaster of the village of Barovia. You've arrived.
So we have. How do you know it's a forgery?
How do I know it's a forgery?
Yeah.
He says, because this is not my father's handwriting. This is not his signature. He picks up one of the half of the papers he ripped up. He says, you were tricked.
Now, I know we've just met, but is there any reason someone would impersonate your father to lure a card player into this lovely establishment of yours?
And he says, listen, I don't know what you're trying to pull, he says, but I don't appreciate coming in here with this and trying to trick me then.
All the same with you, I will just take my scraps of paper and leave, I'm certain. And I wish you and your father the best of luck. but I don't appreciate your attitude this early in the morning. It's been a long night.
He says, you can tell all your friends that I don't appreciate it either. And then as this conversation comes to a wind here, the women who got up from their table are approaching. And Alenka was her name, right? Yeah,
Alenka, Sorvia, and
Alenka will
Mirabelle?
approach, and with her 2 friends behind her. And they'll say, "Oh, come now, Ismark the Lesser," she says out loud. She says, "No need for this type of animosity this early in the morning. What are you arguing about over there?" And they look towards the pieces of paper. What do you do, Tim? Do you put them away? Do you have them in your hands?
I think I would try and clean up the papers as much as I can. It's like a relatively neat pile.
He only ripped them
but
in,
kind of-
in half. That was it. Just half.
Oh, I will grab both halves and put them in my pockets. And I will tell the woman who approached and be like, "Oh, this uncouth gentleman was just suggesting he didn't like my attitude this early in the morning."
He gives like a brief smirk, but he goes back to his porridge and he says, "You don't need to taunt me, women. Please, you know this. I come in every day for my porridge, and I'll leave when I'm done." And they say, "Stay as long as you'd like, Ismark. It's up to you. We haven't seen Irina a very long time. Where has she been?" And he's like, "She's busy. Just busy." And he starts to eat and ignores their questions. And she says to you, "Can we have a chat? Do you mind?" To Laurent.
As long as the chat is more pleasant than the last one I had, I have no problem at all.
Oh, I can guarantee it will be more pleasant. Guarantee.
And I would love to.
She says, "Come in the back. Come in the back."
Does this feel suspicious at all? Because now I feel like I'm being catfished. But does this feel suspicious for Laurent?
I would say you decide that for yourself. I don't know. Unless you want to make an insight check or something.
I'll make an insight check. I mean, I can't tell if they're being genuinely nice or if they're like, "Hey, come here, we're gonna kill you." I think they're being genuinely nice.
We're going to murder you in the back. We're going to put you in the porridge.
Generally, if I was at a random restaurant and someone's like, "Hey, come in the back, we're gonna talk to you," I'd be on edge. But these people seem totally normal, so I'm in.
I don't think I would go to a regular restaurant in the state that you're in, though. I would be
If
a
I
little
had no
weary
other option.
about.
I mean,
Yeah.
to be fair, I'm currently sitting in literally a restaurant parking lot, so it's for both Laurent and Tim, it's a distinct possibility that this happens.
Everyone, got to give Tim some props here because he's doing everything it takes to keep this stream going today. Look at this.
He's literally in the
Unreal.
dark.
He is. He literally is playing in the dark. As cars go by, they're illuminating him.
It's very atmospheric.
I'm just waiting for 3 strangers to come up and knock on the window and be like, "Hey, come talk to us in the back." I'm like, "I'm in."
we would like to speak with you in the back.
Do we see this?
Yeah, so the insight check, what'd you get, Tim?
4, a brisk 4.
A brisk 4. So they seem to be much more sociable than this man was. He was kind of grumpy. So you start to follow them to the back, and of course, Rufus, Canas, Dione, you'll see him being escorted by the 3 women behind the bar, and then eventually into the back room. What do you do?
I'm gonna turn to Dione, who I know is talking to those women, and say, "Should we let our new friend go with those women alone?"
Well, they are the owners of this tavern, so I don't think they would do anything to risk their reputation. But perhaps it would be good to keep an eye on whatever his name is.
His name is Laurent.
Laurent.
Ah, yes, Laurent.
Hello.
Thank you. Yes.
So how would you keep eyes on him then?
Well, I could. I start talking telepathically to Yune. and
Is
I
Yune
say,
still in bird form?
Yune switched back and is invisible.
Gotcha. Okay. So you
Right.
want Yune to go in and get in the back room there?
Check it out.
Sure. You're having this discussion. This will take a few seconds, but we'll go to Tim. Tim, you enter into this back room. It's very small. It's just got some storage and extra grain, pots, pans, things like that. Maybe some barrels of wine. And you see the 3 women. They call you in and they say, "How did you meet these people. They're whispering this, by the way. So they're like, did you bring them here? What is your name?
People outside?
Yes. I'm Alenka. This is the others that I mentioned before. Mirabelle and
Mirabelle
Sorvia.
and Sorvia.
Sorvia.
By the way, I believe that I can hear and see through my familiar's eyes, and that's what
You
I'm going
can.
to do.
Yes, you can. Yeah. You're still having this conversation, so part of this will not be caught by Yune yet. But either way, Tim, what's your name? Where are you? Why did you bring them here?
I didn't bring them here. I barely know them, if I'm being totally honest. We kind of got lost in the fog together, and I decided being in the fog alone was significantly worse than being in the fog with strangers.
Who are you?
My name is Laurent LeMaire. I'm from the town of Neverwinter.
But that is not your real name, is it?
Since I've been born,
Who is your parents? Who is your mother?
my mother is a lovely woman named Helen LeMaire. She's the wife of a farmer named Patrick LeMaire.
Where did you say
They
you were
raised
from?
me. Neverwinter.
And this is where
I can show you on a map if you have a map.
This is where
farmers.
Yune would come in, by the way, Stefano. She would come into this conversation now. And they were like, I'm sorry, we must have mistaken you for somebody else. We thought we knew you.
I don't know how that's possible. It seems like everyone here I've talked to so far, the one person I've talked to has not left here anytime, and I've never been here.
Yes,
That
and
seems-
it must be a mistake. I apologize. We assumed that you do look like doesn't he look like Dimitri? Yes, you look like a friend of ours. I apologize. Why don't you go on, enjoy your friends, and your breakfast will be on us today.
Well, slightly up a compliment, and I will happily take the free breakfast.
Good. I apologize for making this such a confusing morning. Please go ahead.
Thank you. I appreciate your hospitality.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yeah.
When Yune flew in, did any of their eyes dart towards the invisible creature?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. And I assume Yune, because she's an imp, there's no like wing flapping or like noise that comes from it. It's just like levitating, basically.
There might be wing flapping, so I would probably tell Yune would know to approach quietly.
Okay, then why don't you give me a quick stealth check with advantage for invisibility?
Okay.
Tim, question: are you in a Red Lobster parking lot? That's one of the comments.
Not a Red Lobster. There's a I can't tell right now, but there's like a pizza place. There's a grocery store in front of it.
Nice.
A laundromat.
Nice.
So it's gonna be a 25.
Oh yeah, they don't perceive Yune, or at least they don't let out that they perceive her. But yeah, Yune gets this last bit of the conversation, mostly the questioning about where he's from and that they thought they knew him, and then they all come out together. All right, and they sit down, and you can see the man who is sitting there is just about to leave. Is Mark. He's got up and he's paid his tab and he's moving out and he's getting his cloak on, and he's walking out the door. He looks to all of you and he says, probably to Rufus, who I know Andrew just stepped away, but he'll come over and whisper, but mostly to Rufus, including the two of you in the conversation, and says, "Are you with that one that went in the back? Don't trust him."
Why not?
He doesn't answer that question because they're coming out now and coming close, but he just kind of like nods to you in like certainty, and then he will walk out the door. Okay. Tim, Laurent comes back to the group. What do you discuss now, everybody? Go ahead.
Am I back in time to see the lesser leaving? I have his name written down. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Is Mark the
Ismark.
lesser? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
If I see him leaving up the door, I want to yell as he walks out to his back. Good luck with your old man. Hope it goes well.
He'll just kind of give you a like a blank stare, like, and then he'll squint his eyes at you as he opens the door and leaves into the morning mist. All right, so
Sit down my compatriots and say, breakfast is on me.
that's true. Breakfast is on you. You'll be your CP, your copper piece, is not necessary, Tim. They give you a bowl of porridge. Dione, they'll give you a bowl of porridge as well, but the other two paid already, so it's all done.
Yeah.
Andrew, I don't know if you heard where your headset was on when you stepped aside.
I didn't hear, sorry.
Ismark, the man who was hooded, he came over to everybody just as he was leaving, and he told you that, not sure if you're with that one, the one who went in back with the women, but not to trust him. And then he left as Laurent came back to the group. All right,
Well,
go ahead, discuss.
Rufus and I had a riveting discussion with this barkeep who did not want to seem to talk about anything. So if you have any information, please share.
They have no rooms if anybody asked about lodgings. Did any of these fine people offer to put us up or such like?
I spoke to the 3 women. They said apparently we can go and sleep in any of the abandoned houses. They said many houses are vacant. It's okay to just go in and sleep. So maybe we do that. What else?
Did they say if there was anywhere to purchase equipment? I have nothing.
Yes, they mentioned a shop. I believe it was called Bilge Rat, something like this.
The bilge rat.
Yes. I don't know why you would name a shop after a rodent, but okay. And they said you can buy gear and clothing. So perhaps good for you, my impoverished friend.
And where did they say the shop was located?
Oh, that I do not know.
Well, there is time.
Yes.
It does appear we are in a place called Barovia. Laurent, wasn't that mentioned in one of the letters that you received?
It was, and I was wondering if you still had the second letter that we had taken off that corpse, by any chance.
Yes. I pull it out. I assume that I have it.
Yes.
Because hopefully someone has it.
You have it.
And if I could put I want to take my 2 halves of shredded letter and the second letter side by side, and notice if there's significant differences. I've have proficiency in the forgery kit, if that makes any difference.
Do you now? Hey.
Sure do.
All right, give me an insight check or investigation, whichever you choose, and I'll let you apply a proficiency to it because you have the forgery kit.
Oh boy.
I'll let you. No, sorry. Since you have the forgery kit, if you are not proficient in insight or, actually no. Here's what we're gonna do. I think this is actually the right way to do it in 5e. I haven't played 5e in a minute, so it's caught me by a surprise here. But the forgery kit, I believe, is what you would use. So it'd be straight up forgery, the +2, because it's your proficiency, and one of the mental attributes. So I would say you could choose either intelligence or wisdom.
So if I choose the forgery kit, so it would be, intelligence will be my higher one. And I'll throw a d20 +2.
Yep, so it'd be a d20 plus your intelligence plus proficiency, yep.
So if we go with that 16 I rolled, it would be +3 for proficiency, +2 for proficiency, we have to 18, +2 for intelligence, we have to a dirty 20.
Dirty 20 it is, yeah. You can tell these are not the same handwritings. The first one that you received probably looks like a forgery, and a poor one at it. It doesn't look like they attempted very much to copy the burgomaster's handwriting, or at least the second one. The second letter does look very unique, especially the handwriting. The signature is what gives it away the most. One of them looks like, John Hancock. The other's like, normal signature. The fake one was the fake one was like a John Hancock, like a much bigger, grand signature. Yeah.
I want to point out the differences in the 2 letters to my compatriots and be like, when I was talking to Ismark, the Lesser, he kindly shredded my initial letter and noted it was a forgery, as you can see. So I don't know if us being in Barovia is really a good thing.
I see. You are following the instructions on this letter, and it led you to here. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's how I ended up in the fog with you and
I
Tiny.
was,
And you're saying that the letter you received was a fake, seemingly to lure you to this place.
Huh.
That's the implication.
You hear Yune. It seems that we've all been lured here.
I
Probably
was,
to just Canas though, telepathically.
Right.
We
I don't
don't
know if
hear that
I don't know if
body voice.
I don't know if a devilish creature should just reveal itself. Oof, ta-da!
What happened to that bird that was following us around?
I was lured here, but it was no dishonest plea. I could taste honesty in the man's voice.
You tasted it? Oh,
Oh my.
he did drink something. Yeah, he did taste. He tasted the honesty.
Sense. But perhaps we should find a home base to stay in.
I agree.
I could do with a rest. I was quite grievously injured by the zombie creatures.
Yeah, concur.
All right, let's
but
bring up the map again. Maybe that'll help us.
since we're all new here, and you all seem like capable in combat, do you think we should stick together for now?
Of course, destiny has brought us together.
Mm-hmm.
Or a trap. But either way, we are seemingly together.
Yes. I would feel safer in a place like this with some companions.
Yes, it is not safe to be alone. We can stick together for now.
You know,
So
we should.
friends then.
Watch each other's backs. I don't
Friends,
know.
yes, I agree. We should all be friends. And we should name our group. Every great group has a name.
Well, there's 5 of us. The 5.
The 5 Yunes.
Yes. Perhaps we can come up with a name after we find some lodgings.
Yunes Angels.
Love it. Perfect.
The fated 5.
That has less of a ring, if you ask me.
How about the Canas and the 3 people he barely knows? Let's go.
The Beatles?
The Fab 5.
And you see, I assume you've known Yune for quite some time now.
Yes.
She's never very good at sensing when not to joke. But then when you kind of grumpily respond, she's like, "Oh, shutting up now."
No, it's all right, Yune.
Okay.
But just be careful. You don't want to reveal yourself in a place like this yet.
And she'll
I
stay
see.
invisible then while you leave the tavern looking for a place to stay. But she'll fly. You can always sense that she's nearby.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you're there. You're in the middle of this intersection. There are 4 roads that lead from here. The road you came from the east. There's a road that continues out to the west. There's a road to the north that kind of goes northwest. So you can even see from here, there's probably some sort of like a church, like a church spire in the background there. And then to the south is another, looks like more homes and stuff like that. So that's just where you're at right now. You can go anywhere you'd like on the map. Where would you like to approach?
At this point, I shake everyone's hand
Oh,
in a warm friendship way.
does everybody reciprocate the handshake?
Sure.
Overly warmly.
I shake his hand just because I know if I don't, then he'll be annoying.
I shake his hand, but I keep a very, very stern, stoic poker face and maintain strong eye contact while doing it.
Good. Excellent. Then the group has been united, and Yune will like high five everybody or pat you on the back, each one of you. You'll just
Oh,
feel
what
a
was that?
thump. Yeah, you'll feel a thump on your back.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I'll tell Yune that I think that once we get into the location we're going to rest, that perhaps for the time being, the Raven might be the most discreet disguise for her.
You've got it. When you're out, and there are some people now walking around. There are people. There are citizens now that are out and about after breakfast. Not a lot. We're talking maybe you'll see like 4 people on the road. Some of them carrying wheelbarrows of like grain. Others have farming equipment, but nobody seems to be like in a rush. Everybody seems to be, when you walk by, they stare at you. They give you cold stares as you walk, watching you pass, as you even pass them. They almost turn fully around to keep watching until you're out of sight.
Can I shout at one of them for directions to the bilge rat?
Bildraths, yeah. You'll see maybe like a man who's in his probably like mid-30s. He looks like he's got a number of extra years of stress, though, on his face. And he'll point to the direction of Bildraths from where you are. Oh, you're here, my friend. It's this building, this other large building in the center square.
I would like to go to this establishment.
You're
As if I have
here,
nothing.
my friend. He doesn't say that. That'd be weird.
He says it again. He says it again.
An NPC
You're
glitched out.
here, my friend. No, he doesn't say
Yep.
that.
Thank him.
I'll just put build for Bildraths. All right. You do notice now that he points it out, and this little farmer walks off. You notice that it does say Bildraths Mercantile. You can see sparse light coming out from this building. Maybe there's like a lantern on in there. And you can see there are heavy drawn curtains as well. The sign, creaking on the hinges, reads Bildraths Mercantile.
I'll go in.
The rest of you sticking together? Is this like Scooby-Doo, or we're all splitting off? Or are you all sticking with him?
I'll stick with him, but as we're like going between buildings here, like after those 3 women talk to me, like I do like look around and I do feel like a strange sense of like this is oddly familiar.
Interesting. So Dione, you're sticking with him?
Oh, yes. I am curious about what is in this shop. So I am following behind Rufus.
Sweet. Okay. You open up the door, and inside it's probably a smaller room. It's like 40 feet wide. There's a countertop. You can see there's adventuring gear. It looks like there's even weapons behind the counter. It does have quite a decent stock of everything. You're surprised based on the appearance of the town so far, based on the homes and the houses and the people you've seen. You wouldn't have expected that. However, you do see it's a well-stocked store. There's a man, bald head, rather skinny, probably something around the height of like 5'6" or so, and he is standing behind the counter. And when you come in, he was reading some book or something like that, but quickly puts it down and he says, welcome to Bildraths. I'm Bildrath. I have everything you need. You're from out of town, aren't you?
Yes, we are.
I knew it right away. I could tell just by the way you walked. Your clothes also, I could tell.
Well, we've heard you're the place to come to for provisions.
I'm glad. Who
Equipment.
told you, actually? I would love to know. Who told you that?
Who told us, Dione? Who told you?
The ladies who own the tavern over there, Blood
Oh.
on the Vine.
They're so good to me, I tell you. You've come to the right place. Please, enter. Tell your friends to come in, too. Who's that back there?
Come on,
Come on. What's your name? Come on in.
Yes.
Come on, Canas, tell him.
I slink in. I guess he's talking to me.
And your friend out there, the other one?
We'll shuffle in and look around. I'll say, I'm Laurent. Nice establishment you got here.
Thank you. You all look like you have good coin to spend, am I right?
Yes, indeed. I'm looking for some armor mainly and an armament.
You've
My
come to the
size.
right place. You really have. Because at Bildraths Mercantile, we have pretty much everything in adventure like you needs. He says, Periwimple, get in here. And from the back, there's like a little curtain. It's like I want to say it's like a beaded curtain, but I feel like it wouldn't be beaded. It's probably like some sort of cloth. And this massive, hulking individual. He looks like he's like 6'8". He's built like a truck. Like he's got shoulders that are wider. Like if you put two of you together, it would be as wide as this guy's shoulders. He says, "This is my nephew, Periwimple." He comes in. He's very got bushy brown hair. Kind of covers almost his eyes, so you can barely see his eyes through it. The man doesn't look like he's older than 18 years old, but he is like the body of a Greek god. You can see it. He's wearing simple clothes, like all the other townsfolk that you've seen so far, but you can't hide it. Like he's a specimen. This is Periwimple. We got to get some armor for this young man here. What can you bring us? He says, "I'll be right back." And he turns into the back of the room, and you hear some clanging, some clutter dropping. He's like, "It's so hard to get good help these days." "So, where y'all from?"
Well, I'm from Gwaindire, a small town, but a noble town.
"I don't think
You
I've
may
ever
have heard
met
of it.
anyone from Gwaindire."
Ah, well, Gwaindire is such a lovely town. A river runs through it, you know.
No
My-
kidding.
My twin brother is the Lord Gwaindire.
"Periwimple, get the..." He's like, he goes to the curtain. He's like, "Get the expensive stuff." He's like not even hiding his giddiness that you just told him that you're a noble.
I don't stay in one place very much, but most recently I've been lodging in Daggerford.
Oh, Daggerford. I've seen a lot of people from Daggerford.
A lot of people from Daggerford in Daggerford.
"Sure," he says. You see Periwimple come out. He's got a bunch of armors here. There are weapons all behind him. There's gear out and about. You can all explore the store. He has items in the player's handbook, like gear and weapons and stuff like that are 25 GP or less. Okay? So if you want to look in your table there, he brings out, let's see, for you, my good friend Andrew. I'll tell you exactly what he has. So he's got hide armor, which is the heavy one that he lumps down on the table here. And then he's got obviously leather, padded leather, and he brings out the good stuff's coming, don't worry. And Periwimple comes out and he's got ringmail armor, which is the worst heavy armor in the game.
Yep.
It's gives you disadvantage on all your your stealth and stuff like that. It's
So, yeah, I see it.
it's got a 14 armor class and it's 30 gold. That's the biggest. He's like, "This is a hot ticket item, I tell you." "It's gonna go fast," he says. You're gonna want to make sure you get a hold of this one."
While Rufus is thinking of the purchase, looking at Bildrath and Periwimple, is there like a significant difference in clothing between them and us?
Yes, you all actually look like you're. Well, first off, one thing, the style is very different. Give me a history check, Laurent. Sorry, history check.
That's a solid 10 for me.
I mean, you're not a fashionista, or I assume, but
You'd be wrong.
am I wrong? You're not. Okay, you are. Never mind then. You're a fashionista.
Give him advantage.
What is your character actually, or?
No,
Okay,
not at all.
okay. I was like, okay, I don't know. You're
But he's
not
very
maybe-
convincing. He got me.
Just because you dress well, though, doesn't mean you know the history of clothing and style and stuff like that, right? So, but either way, you can tell that their clothing, not only is it like poor quality, but it's also outdated. You're not sure exactly when, but you might have seen styles of clothing like this in like books you've read. You've read books about this style of clothing. It's much older. The way it might equate to it is like even though you're not a fashion guru, you've seen like what they wear in colonial times, right? And that's the equivalence. It seems like it's maybe centuries outdated. That makes sense.
I was gonna think of purchasing new clothes for myself. I know I definitely won't.
Yeah, no, these are much outdated clothing in terms of style. You may not know much more about that, but they look like they're old. And he says to you, to all of you, as you start maybe calling out, "Oh, I'm going to buy this," or "I might get that," he'll tell you the prices. Every single thing that he's selling you is it's anything that's of 25 gold pieces or less, and he's selling it for 10 times the price in the player's handbook.
10 times the price.
Mm-hmm. So when you call out, "I want to, what's something that's like 1 gold piece of?"
Like candles.
A candle, yeah, a set of candles for 1 gold piece. It's 10.
So that ring mail is 300 gold.
Yep, the ring mail's 300 gold.
Oh boy.
He
Good
says,
luck, Andrew.
He says, "Look. We can talk about this, but the prices are the way they are for a reason." He says.
And what is that reason?
What is that reason?
Oh, well, if you want it badly enough, you'll buy it. You're a noble. What is money to you?
Well, as we are,
I couldn't hear you. What?
Would you advance credit? Usually I buy things on credit.
This is actually in character, not me coughing. He goes, "Ooh, you hear that, Periwinkle?" He said, "Credit." And Periwinkle goes, "I heard it. And he goes,
My word is my bond.
That's wonderful, but your word doesn't feed me. Your word doesn't give me any advantages in life." He says,
Well-
"I apologize, but I am not going to be able to help you out here, so you got to pay up. Put that
Well,
down over there." And he yells at Canas to put whatever item you had in your hand down.
Well, my companions, would you be able to provide me any credit yourselves? As we're all friends.
I've got some gold I won in a card game just a night and a half ago. Not 300 gold.
Okay, well, you can't afford the ring mail. That's fine. Let's look at what else we can... the hide armor. It's a steal for 100 gold.
You can send 40 gold your way, Rufus. I can lend you 40 gold.
40 gold.
Mr. Bilgret, you say it is hard to find good help around here. Is there anything we can do to help you in your shop? Perhaps you give a discount to whatever his name is, if we give you some help?
Or a quest.
See, he
do
says
some kind of
Periwinkle
deed.
is he's my nephew. I can't fire him.
Oh no! Don't
That's
fire
not-
him.
It's
No,
not what
don't.
we said.
The poor boy, he clearly needs some employment, so don't fire him. But perhaps we can help in addition. If you have some work that needs to be done, or something you need to get from
You know what?
somewhere.
I do need something, actually, now that you mention it. Yeah, it's called gold. So, I'm sorry, but the price is the price. Like I said, if you want it badly enough, you'll pay for it.
Does he have a gold pouch or pockets that look like they have gold in them?
Probably, yeah. I mean, he does, yeah. He works a store. I'm sure he's got a gold pouch somewhere.
Okay. Let's see. Can you perhaps tell me about this piece over here? And I point at something in the corner, and basically I'm trying to get him to look at something. I'm trying to distract him, and then I want to cast Mage Hand and see if I can just yoink some about 100-ish or however much he wants.
Do you
Out
have
of his
a
pocket.
Mage Hand, the Ledger Domain? It makes it invisible?
Invisible.
Yes.
Okay.
A lot of invisibility going on here.
Yeah.
Ooh.
You'll ask him about what item?
Whatever catches my eye that looks cool.
A lantern, perhaps?
Sure. This is
Sure.
a curious lantern. What does it do? Can you tell me about the history? Where does it come from? Who did you get it from?
He'll come out from around the counter, and he'll walk up to you slowly, and he says, "Oh, this lantern." He says, I came upon it, actually. An adventuring party. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, I remember them now. They came by, and they didn't have the gold either. And then one day, I found them dead in the street. So I took their stuff.
Oh, wow, fascinating. I suppose you got your payment somehow.
Oh, I did, yeah. I got a lot of payment that day, yeah.
Can you tell me what else they were carrying?
I don't know, whatever you all carry, weapons and stuff, and that ring mail, actually, yeah.
Oh, fascinating. So while we're talking like this, I'm gonna try and like cast the mage hand and see if I can boop, and then just scoot it on over to Rufus's pocket.
Give me a stealth check, or a
Sleight of hand?
Sleight of hand, yeah.
Okay. 14.
Yeah, I think so, unless I just got to check one thing, but I think you might be good. Okay, so you're attempting to take whatever coins he might have, or pocket a purse out of his pocket. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Does he notice it? He does not. And you can probably, the group would see this, but his coin pouch that's just like in his pocket, maybe in the back of his tunic, is rising out of the into the air. Nothing is holding it. It's an invisible hand, so you don't see anything. And Rufus, you'll see this thing just start to come right to you, float to you.
Oh, and what? I take it in my hand.
Okay, you're holding it in your hands?
Yeah.
Okay, you have it.
And I'll say to him, "Good sir, your coin pouch fell. Here you go."
He looks and immediately...
About this group with the ring bell, and I'm trying to like drown out Rufus's voice. I don't know.
He'll be like immediately, what, where? Oh, thank you. Give me that, please.
I'll give it to him. I won't know what happened to me. It'll look like it kind of weirdly fell.
Give me a persuasion check. Deception check. I will give you advantage on it because you're. Why would you alert yourself to being caught?
Who, me?
Did you just ask if I was talking to you?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, you're giving up his coin purse, right?
Well, why is that deception? I'm giving him his coin purse back.
It's because you said it fell.
You said it fell, and it did not.
Oh, okay. I did that.
Because you're lying. That's why.
It's a white lie.
I go and stand in the corner of the shop and I sigh heavily.
It took a little while. I got an 11.
An 11. He
With
looks
advantage?
Yeah.
Yeah, with advantage. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
There you go.
He looks at you and he doesn't seem to mind. I mean, like I said, he didn't observe it, and he says, "Oh, thank you," and he grabs his coin purse.
I'll walk over to Rufus and give him 30 gold, pat him on the back, and say, "This is on credit."
So I've now got 94 gold, including the 40 from Laurent.
He says, "All right, listen, here's what we'll do. The 94 will do.
What will I get for that 94?
You want
Either a hide armor or shield.
hide armor or leather?"
Hide is 12 plus dex.
12. So I'll go for the hide then, please.
Hide is good armor. It's not very good at stealth, despite its name.
It's
Well.
not bad at stealth.
Needs must.
Listen, you're gonna need it out here. The woods are dangerous at night.
Well, I thank you. I may be back if I can acquire more gold.
Are you taking the hide or no?
Yeah, I'm taking the hide.
Okay. So pick up 94 gold.
Yeah. So that puts me
He'll give it.
down to 0.
Okay. So you're down to 0, and you owe Canas 30.
Yeah.
Got it. All right, so you pick up your hide armor. He fits it to you, and Periwimple helps. He holds it up, carries it, fits it exactly the way it's supposed to be, and you're all set. You have hide armor. Equip it to yourself on your D&D Beyond character sheet.
Great.
Anybody else buying anything in Bill Drafts?
No, fortunately, I came well equipped.
Good. Anybody else? Tim, Michelle?
I think I've got with my starting equipment, I'm pretty well equipped.
Okay.
I'm set.
We'll switch
Now I've got marked up
gears.
either 10 times the price. Get out of here! I'm not paying
All
for
right,
anything.
yeah, I also find this man to be a cheap ass.
He's my favorite NPC of the game so far.
But because I have the defense skill thing,
Feet?
having armor is very good because it gives me +1 as well as the armor.
Gotcha. The
Yeah.
fighting style.
Right.
What's
the
your
fighting style,
what's your dexterity?
+1?
That's
Okay,
good.
Not,
It's
it's not bad.
14. Ace is 14 now. It's
It's
like
better than
mage
10.
level.
Better than 11 or
Could
whatever.
be
it was.
worse. Could be worse.
Now we just need to get 100 gold so you can afford that shield.
Who
Tiny
knows?
can get us 100 gold, no problem. We were so close.
Some
You
kind
actually-
of weapon. Another
actually-
dagger would be good as well.
When we walk out, I turn to Rufus and I say, perhaps we'd be better off shopping off dead adventuring parties.
True.
I'll laugh at that.
What's funny is as soon as you turn the corner outside of Bildress, you notice there's a Target, and you can buy everything at discount. So it's a 5 and below.
The classic Gnome Depot.
It's a
Oh,
5
goodness.
Gnome
It's-
Depot.
Look at those Black Friday sales.
All right, so you get to the town center again, and you see the Blood on the Vine Tavern. You see Bildras now behind you. Where to? You still hear them moaning in the streets as well.
The moaning or
The,
the sobbing?
sobbing.
the
Yeah.
sobbing,
Yeah, the sobbing,
The
the
sobbing,
crying,
wailing.
yeah, wailing, moaning sounds. Yes. Mhm.
How can they still?
You
be
know, I'm
going?
gonna turn
It's
to
unnatural.
I'm gonna turn to Bill Draft and say, what is that sobbing sound?
Well, you're outside, so you go back into Bildras real quick.
Yeah.
You pop the door. Hey, what's that sound? He goes, "Oh God, it's probably Mad Mary again."
Mad who?
Mary.
What's her story?
I mean, she's lived here all her life, like most of us. She's crying. I think she lost her daughter.
Well,
I don't really pry too much. I keep to myself. Like you should all.
yeah, it seems that way. I guess best of luck to her in finding her daughter. Sobbing won't do her much good.
Oh, that's the spirit. Happy Thanksgiving, by the way.
Yes, I am very thankful for you and your prices.
Thank you. All right, so you're out of Bildras now, and so again, like I said, there's 4 roads: one to the east, west, north, and south. The moaning is coming from the south. You see a church spire to the north. You came from the east, and it looks like the road heads out further west. There's also some other places here. You see some more people. You know, the streets are getting filled up as the morning goes by. Where to next?
I think we should go investigate the moaning noise, because I, for one, won't be able to get a wink of shut-eye while there is all this ruckus.
Are you suggesting we silence her?
That's not at all what I was suggesting, honestly, but I mean, if you think that's the next reasonable step, I'm not totally opposed to it once we try maybe more diplomatic.
So all in agreement to
Weapons?
head towards the moaning?
I suppose.
Okay. So you start to head towards the moaning, and you can hear there is another sound that fills the streets. It's the sound of a small wooden wheels rolling across damp cobbles. You trace the lonely sound to a hunched figure in bundled rags pushing a rickety wooden cart through the fog. The cart stops at one of the houses. So this house right here, this small little like townhouse. And you can see the old woman. She is old, like I said, hunched over old woman. She's got like these the shawls covering most of her body, but you can see like scraggly white hair kind of dripping out of the hood. And she'll take one step at a time, slowly, hoisting her body upwards using the rail. She'll knock on the door, and you can see that there's a conversation being had. A man and a woman enter the door. They seem to be maybe married. The man puts his arm around the woman. The woman seems to be crying. It's hard to hear their conversation. It's private, but you're getting close now to the two of them. You're at by the way, the house.
What was the? Sorry, what was the hunched woman? Did she had something on her or
She had a
something?
cart. She had a cart.
A cart.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The house of the moaning is down here.
I don't know if we would necessarily pry in on that conversation. I don't know if it just seems like a woman's going over and crying.
Is there anything that we can like catch glimpses of, like hear, not
Yeah,
catch, hear glimpses of as walking past?
As we're
without, like,
walking by, yeah.
yeah.
Do you want to attempt a perception check?
Sure.
Go ahead.
Can I help Canas?
A 4.
It's too hard to hear. They're up top by the steps, the door. It's too hard to hear. But you walk past and you can see that the rickety wooden cart, there's actually a pleasant smell coming from it. When you get close enough to see, you can sense that there's some sort of like pie or pastries or something in there. It smells like fresh baked goods, and she seems to be toting this cart all around town.
I'm quite famished. We've been walking all night. Someone else. The oatmeal, the porridge, is
We also
not
just
holding me
ate.
over. The porridge is not holding me over. I'm used to a richer diet in both Daggerford and then being the son of farmers. This looks like a heartier. I'm a big breakfast person. I'm in.
You
Very
see,
well. We'll have some pie, then we'll talk to this moaning lady, and then
We do
maybe-
it's delicious, you know. It's anything is better than the fog, and they've got breakfast stuff here. Clearly, not an omelet, but breakfast stuff.
While they're having this whole conversation, Dione's just like following her nose to the pies.
Follow your nose wherever it goes.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
You get to like I said, the step, right? And now you're there. You can see the cart and you see what's going on here. You may not hear the conversation entirely because you rolled like garbage, but the woman who is being consoled by her husband, she turns around and motions to inside the house, like to wave to come. And then you see a 7-year-old boy. He is presented in front of the man and the woman, in front of the old lady. And she bends down, gives him a kiss. And the father puts his hand on his shoulder. And the boy looks up, kind of scared. He looks a little frightened of the woman. But she reaches out her hand, and he takes her hand. And then the two of them, separate from the parents, start to descend down the steps. The boy looking back to his parents the whole time, the parents distraught, mother streaming tears down her face.
I'm gonna speak at this point. Lady, why are you upset?
Oh, who are you? Mind your
strangers
business.
here.
Mind your business. Move along.
But you're crying.
The old lady is not crying. The wife is crying. The man and the
I
wife.
thought that was
who
the
are-
wife speaking.
Yeah.
I addressed the wife.
Oh, okay. So you're at this the bottom of their stairs. This stairs that go lead up to the front of their townhouse, and the woman who is walking by, the old woman says, "Move along, mind your business." And then the woman at the top with her husband who's crying, she goes into sobs that echo the one that you hear just down a house over actually. So now there's two women sobbing throughout the streets here. But she won't answer your question. The husband will just look at you and then look down at his feet, and he sadly closes the door. And
Oh.
they leave.
I'll ask the boy then. Boy, where are you going?
The boy goes, I don't know. I was told by my parents to go with her. And the woman says, "None of your business. Mind your business. And you too, shut your mouth."
She's kind of an old woman, right?
She looks like if you were to like a stiff breeze would like destroy her. She's fragile and frail. She walks like all shakily.
Oh, we are minding our business. We just smelled the delicious aroma of those pies.
Oh, I see. You want breakfast? Good
Well,
idea.
My friend over here, Laurent, well, he's never satisfied. He just needs to eat.
Oh, these pastries will be wonderful for your stomachs. She opens the little cart up, and it's like one of those like little street carts where now like you can see all the like once she opens it up, you can see everything. It's dozens of like baked small little pies. They are the aroma is so enticing. They're different flavors. She's like the flavors. Which would you prefer? Raspberry?
I would. Yes.
I believe
That
I
sounds
have,
lovely.
what do I have here? Blueberry? Boysenberry? Is that a thing?
Strawberry rhubarb?
Rhubarb. Yes, that one was fresh this morning.
I would. That's the one I would like. Then that would be so lovely.
Rhubarb pie, she says. Excellent. She'll open it up and she says, "They're 1 gold piece each. That's not too steep for nobles like you." And she looks to Rufus's insignias and stuff like that.
I'll look down at her.
Well, I would like one. Does anyone else want a pie? I will happily buy anyone else a pie. I feel like everyone deserves a pie.
But you may have to advance me coin.
I can
really out.
happily advance you coin for a pie.
Oh, I had my fill of porridge, but thank you for the offer.
Dione, would you like any pie? Dione, would you like any pie?
Dione.
Yeah.
What a
Dione.
lovely name.
Thank you. Yes, Dione. It's okay. Dione can't say any of your guys' names either. It's fine.
Laurent.
Canas. But yes, Dione is just like at this point, like pressed fully against the cart, just like, and like since she's so small, basically all you can see are like her eyes and her nose like poking up over the edge, and she's just like sniffing, like. And she looks at the lady and she's like, "Do you have any meat pies?"
Give me a perception check, Dione.
Sure. Oh, all right. Tell me about those pies. We have us a nat 20.
Ooh.
There is 100% meat pies. And she says, I always love it when a customer has a good nose. She says,
Oh, you love it, Mrs. Lovett?
I love it. She opens up the bottom part and she says, "I was saving these for the lunch hour, but perhaps they're better use now." And she'll take out this. She says, "This is certified grade A beef from Barovia.
Oh, yes.
This will
very
fill you up." Now, mind you. Now, I just want to let you all know, all of these pies. You're paying for it, Tim? Or are you paying, or
Well,
Michelle?
please bring the 3 gold for 3 pies, absolutely.
All right, so you get 3 pies. 1 for Dione and 2 for you?
Rufus got a pie
You
too,
got
right?
one for Rufus as well.
What about
Oh.
my pie?
Oh, Rufus, sorry, never mind. So she'll buy the 3. You buy the 3 pies. You'll exchange. She'll give each one your pie. And she says, "I forgot to mention one thing, but it's not that important." She says, "Actually, a benefit. You're not just buying a pie. After you eat these pies, these will give you such wonderful dreams."
The best day ever.
Yes.
Besides the getting lost in the flag part, this is just fantastic.
What is one fantasy you've ever had? She looks to Rufus.
Well, I've always felt a quest toward a driving net towards glory. I imagine a fancy would be to do something truly glorious, save a damsel, rescue a town.
You will live it tonight. It will be your life.
I look at her suspiciously.
I'm serious, she says. These are dream pastries.
Hey, Canard, I think we just bought some drugs.
As you can see, Dione, I didn't buy any drugs.
Oh,
For a lot more drugs for me.
I would just suggest that when you eat them, that you eat them closer to bedtime if possible. Or a nap, perhaps.
And what is your name, fair woman?
I am Morgantha.
Morgantha.
If you ever need a dream pastry, I come here regularly. She says, but if you have suggestions for flavors, I can put in that request.
How about a gooseberry pie for next time?
I'll be back in a few days with your gooseberry pie. Excellent
Although,
job.
I don't know if the dreams will help me. I seem to have the same one every night.
Oh, I can guarantee my work always cuts it.
Well, I'll give it a try next time.
She'll smile and says, we'll be on our way. Come now. And she'll like motion the child, and she'll close up her little cart, and you'll hear cobblestones as it kind of clanks its way down the road north.
During this interaction, is the kid seem like openly reluctant, or just kind of just simply dejected to the fact that like this is going to be his life now?
He's just going with it. I mean, he was told by his parents to go. He has no idea what's going on.
All right, good enough, man.
Well, Rufus, you're looking for honor and glory?
Yes.
Well,
it is my
perhaps
desire.
perhaps you should go save that abducted child.
But it's not. I didn't think I can really do that because his parents gave him to the lady.
I couldn't hear you. What'd you say?
Oh, his parents gave him to the lady.
Very
Seems
well.
to be the
It's all
way
good
things
in
are done.
Rufus's book.
All right.
Or lawful,
Love.
above board.
Well then, crew, let's go silence this sobbing woman.
Okay, so you go to the sounds of the woman that was crying beforehand. This is clearly this house is much more run down. Definitely poorer side of town here. I shouldn't say poorer. I shouldn't say that, actually. It's actually not the poorer side of town, but this house particularly is in poor condition. The moaning sob that floats through the streets, you can really pinpoint it now. It's coming from a dark 2-story townhouse. When you get there, your mind is kind of colored with sadness. That this wail is very primal. You enter into the house, or you go up to the front door at least, and you can see the door is open. It's not ajar. It's probably closer to like a quarter open, but you can clearly hear inside the woman sobbing. What do you do?
Well, I would just go right in.
You open up into what seems to be a sitting room. There's a stairwell going up to the second floor. This, again, furnishings in this house look very old. The style of the furniture, the condition of the house looks old, of course, but like I said, the style of the furniture and the layout of the house, it does seem like it's perhaps centuries old as well. You don't see anybody here, but the sound is coming from up the stairs. It's completely pitch black in here, by the way. You will need light sources, so who has a light source?
I have my eyes. My eyes are a light source.
Moonlight, of course, inside, but I've got like a candle.
Okay, so you light a candle. Rufus, you going by candlelight?
Yeah.
And I know, Dione, you have like superior dark vision, so
Mm-hmm.
you're fine. Laurent takes out a candle, lights it. You see the room just illuminated from the street now. But as you enter and go up the stairs, it's dark. So, Laurent, maybe you are in the middle of the group. You have the candle for you and Rufus, and maybe Dione or Canas, you want to take the lead?
Sure. I thought Rufus was taking the lead.
Oh, okay, that's fine. Then maybe, Rufus, you want to hold the candle?
Well, it's hard for me to see that well in the dark, Canas. Maybe you can.
Yes,
Oh,
yes, of course.
so-
I go up the stairs.
Okay. You head up the
Hello?
stairs. The stairs creak with every step. The wood is old and worn, and the loud. It's loud. Like you literally are creaking throughout the whole house. Probably could be heard, but the sobbing continues. There's no like recognition of you or your call out. You get to the top of the stairs, and you can see one of the bedroom doors is open, and the sound is coming from there. You enter in, and it's a.
I knock.
Oh,
I
okay.
do like a.
Yeah, on the door, like it's open. You.
Yep.
Inside, there is a woman. She is in the center of the floor of this bedroom. She's clutching what looks like some sort of malformed doll in her hand. She seems to be lost in her sorrow and despondency. She doesn't really recognize the presence of the four of you as you enter the room. She doesn't say anything, but she's just wailing, crying, tears all down her cheeks. She's completely like wet with her tears.
I clear my throat very loudly.
And she just like looks at you in between sobs, opens her eyes, and she says, "My baby."
Is your name Mary?
She looks back at the doll instead of you all, and she continues to cry, and she'll just nod her head in acknowledgement that that's her name.
Ah. Well, I hear something happened with your daughter.
She'll continue to sob, but she'll nod. Yep, nod in agreement.
Well, very well. That's very sad. But could you keep it down because my ravenous friend needs his beauty rest?
She'll look at you, like this anger of this mother scorned, and she'll say, "I will be as loud as I need to be."
All right. Well, is there anything we could do to help to make it a little quieter?
She says, "My child is gone."
What happened?
She says, "She was taken from her own home."
I bet it was that Morgantha that took her.
Not that pie peddler. No. I think she was taken by the devil himself.
I said, whisper to Yune, do not reveal yourself in telepathically.
Understood.
The devil himself, you say? Did you
That's
see
right.
this devil?
I didn't see anything. I woke up one day. She was gone. She's been gone for a week.
Any note?
She says, "My poor Gertruda."
What is that doll that you have in your hands?
She says, "This was her doll when she was a baby." You look at the room. It looks like maybe it is her daughter's room. There's a small bed, like a dresser. Everything's old, run down, but it doesn't look like a children's room. It's not a nursery.
I'll ask her, how old was your child when she was taken?
She's 18 today. It's
Oh.
her birthday.
That's a pretty old child.
She'll always be my child.
Can you tell us again what happened to your Gertruda?
She was gone. I woke up and she was gone. But I know who did it.
Yes, the devil himself.
Yes. And then she looks to all of you for the first time, eyes wide open. Sobbing stops. And she says, "It was the devil. The devil Strahd." And that's where we're going to pause it for today.
Ooh.
He said the
Wow.
name. He said the name.
The first name drop?
The camera pans in.
Yeah.
And all I wanted to do today was sleep.
Well, maybe you could sleep at Mary's.
That was my thinking.
Yeah. She is definitely inconsolable right now, so her house is wide open. We'll figure out the resting conditions next time, But I hope you enjoyed this. If you're watching on YouTube Live right now, thank you for being here with us. It's always fun to have the good chat. We had a nice lively one tonight. I try to respond, but most of the time I'm always focused on the game, but I appreciate you all keeping it going. If you would do me a favor, like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. I mean, I don't know what's we're waiting for. Just do it. If you'd like to actually help support the channel in a more direct way, you can see some links down below to Ko-fi, Patreon, some things like that. Like I said, there's other links in the description. I'll get those character links up as soon as possible. But this group, what a group we have here. Tim's in the freaking Red Lobster parking lot. It's like what a night, right, Tim?
It's so typical.
Do you know if you have power back at your house?
I mean, the street light, like the red stoplight is not lit up, so I imagine like most of my town has lost power, is what it looks like.
Okay.
Wow.
Well, maybe it'll be back by the time you get there. I hope it's going to be all right for you. It's start of our Thanksgiving break. I'm so excited to get some time off and relax. And I hope you all at home enjoy your Thanksgiving from wherever you are. So we'll see you all on the tabletop. Have a great night, everybody.
Bye.
Yeah.
Right. Stay out of the mist.